when you get smaller, right, you actually become bigger. Okay. When you get smaller, you actually become bigger. They say, hey, there's strength in numbers and things like that. But if it's a lot more powerful, a lot more effective when you get a very small, lean, mean machine that you get everyone rowing together, linking arms together and saying, let's go. And if everyone's on that mission, you're not having anyone else detract you. And you're saying, hey, if you're either in or you're out. And let me help you either in or let me help you get out. And which one is it? And so we use these group lead gen sessions, right? To do that, right? That's an indicator. Are you showing up or are you not? And that's it. And if you're not showing up, all good, right? Let me just understand why. And so I'll get to this right now actually because it's I was going to get to it here in a moment. There's 4 things that I look at when I prioritize my time, when I look at the team actually prioritizing time. Because once you get this thing rolling and you really get the 8 to 10s, or however you set it, right? When you get the 8 to 10s rolling, you're going to get business and you're going to get life that gets in the way. All right. So when I prioritize my time, number 1 is personal goals. Personal goals always come first. Family comes first. Then it's the team. Then it's my clients. You, family, team, clients. Okay, in that order, in that specific order. Now, when I say you, right, you can't get in the way of you. You can't get in the way of you. If you had one too many drinks last night, you stayed up late watching shows, if you didn't get to bed on time, you didn't wake up early in time, you didn't book your days like you said that you were going to do, and you didn't take ownership of your own life, well, then shame on you. All right? If you're not putting your family first above all else, shame on you. There's no amount of money that's going to tell me to do one thing or another for my family. Now, I will not let my family be an excuse of what I'm supposed to do, my responsibilities that I have in for my team or for my business. Okay. A lot of people will do that. They'll use their family as an excuse to not show up. And shame on you for doing that. Hey, we said that we are going to commit together during this time from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. What are you doing? I understand that life happens, right? Personally, okay, we had twins last year. It was really hard for me to get in the office at a certain time. I had to take, I had to step up and do certain things that I wasn't doing the last 5-10 years. Okay. And that's okay. There's the seasons of life, but are we aware of that? Right. And are we stepping up? The other side, okay, well, there are times where you should put your finances first. You really should, because you're broke. You don't have any money. You're not able to do anything for your family. Focus on this lead generation time so you can get the contacts in order to drive consultations, then go do the work and then get the closings that you said you wanted to do. Okay. So, and now let's say, okay, we're making all these contacts, right? You guys, okay, the challenge that we set out, the 12 personal notes, the 28 calls, the 4 social posts, the 4 the database additions, the 3 client meals, the 4 face-to-face visits. These are driving leads and referrals. Awesome. Hey, I need to show, can you show me this house at 8 a.m. on Monday? Hey, no, I can't. No, I can't. When else can you meet? All right. Are you prioritizing the team above the client? A lot of you will say yes right away. You prioritized a potential over a certain. Okay. Now, if you ask, hey, I can't, there's always exceptions to the rule. Okay. There's always exceptions to the rule. But if they say, hey, 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, hey, I already have another meeting during that time. I have another meeting during that time. Is there another time that'll work for you? No, it won't, because I have to be at work, during these days, and the house that just went up on the market, it really makes sense to get in there. And you explore all these different options, right? And it just doesn't work. Okay, fair. So be it. Now you can, you're trying to not double book your meetings. Austin, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that one needs to be said 11,000 times to everybody. which is you've worked through all of your options before you put it into your education and lead generation time. You work through all of your options. They can't do this. They can't do this. You can't do that. You've worked through all of the options. It's not the first option. It's the last of the last of the last. And you've made a conscious decision that this one potential paycheck is greater than all of these paychecks and people I could help. That is the biggest difference that I've seen over my career, is that there's rules and exceptions. And when I say, hey, why weren't you there today, Jessica? And she goes, well, I was showing $1 million home. And I'm like, well, congrats. That's amateur hour. That's great. Congratulations. Did you ask to see if they could do it during a different time? Well, she said they couldn't do it today at 3. Well, did you ask about 6? And how about 11? And how about tomorrow? And how about, and how about, and how about? And when you get to that level, everybody, just to be clear, when you get to that level, that this is the last stop, that's when you're winning. No differently than when you give away your commission, it's the last stop. It's the, I'm going to lose this deal, or I can write a check for $500 for Alfredo's washer. That's the last stop. When you book over your lead generation and education, it's the last stop. You know why we can be here all the time is because it's the last stop. Everything else goes away because we understand the importance. It doesn't mean maybe we can't be here every day. There might be something that has to happen, but it's the last stop. Make it the last stop and you'll win. Train your team members, train people in your life. It's the last stop. Can you try to have 4 stops before the last stop? Could I say, Tucker, could we do it at a different time later this afternoon, early this evening? I'll wake up at 6 a.m. because he's on a different time. I'll make it work. It's the last stop. That's how you win.
Well said. Honey, I'll get to you in a second. I want to go to Tucker real quick. Tucker, in your last month of training before your marathon that you just ran, in your last month, how many sessions did you miss? How many training sessions did you miss in your last, say, 4 to 6 weeks?
I can tell you it was 4 because it was the week before. They were the little tiny runs that didn't matter because I was sick. So I had to prioritize not, feeling better before the race. But that's it. Every other session, I did it.
And you prioritized, right? Because you had a goal and you knew you were going to get that, you're going to hit that goal, and you didn't want to fuck it up.
Right.
Right? So a lot of us, what we'll do, hey, we have goals, but our goals are so far out a lot of times that we are willing to miss a training session, right? We're willing to miss an 8 to 10 lead generation session because our goal is so far out. So if you start training, say, for a marathon and it's a year away, your first ones, you might miss a couple, right? You might be a little sore. You might, like, I'll take a break today and I'll miss today, but I'll get back to it tomorrow, right? But as you get tighter and tighter and tighter, the pressure is on. You're like, oh shit, I might actually screw up. I might not be able to achieve the goal. This is a big event. I'm running 26.2 miles. This is going to be intense. I better not mess up. I better focus. So are you putting that level of urgency? Are you putting that level of focus on you right now today for something that's going to be 12 to 18 to 24 to 72 months out, right? Put that same level of urgency today. That's why we time block. This is like going to the gym. That's why we time block Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time, right? We focus on these. This is going to the gym. We're getting our exercise in. We're getting in our input, okay? Now we have to do the same priority, lead generation and education. We do not let anything overtake those 2 things. Okay, cool. So value of the group lead generation session. Then there's a lot there, but let me just summarize what we were just talking about. 1, they're efficient and they're effective. Okay, there's a reason why we have 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Going around studying all of the top producers in the entire country. We asked them, when do you lead generate? Almost 100% of them said, I focus from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Some of them went even on to 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. You just heard Jordan, she's focusing on 4 hours a day. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That gives you the highest chances of success. So it's effective, it's efficient. Okay. So if I have a team of 5, if I have a team of 10, if I have a team of 30, if I have a team of 50, right? I'm no different than like a college professor with office hours. I'm funneling everyone into a single spot. Okay. And we're all on just like this, right? We're all on via Zoom, no matter where we are in the world. We're all committing that, hey, from this time to that time, we're going to show up together. I got your back no different than you got mine. We're showing up together. And so it's efficient, right? Whenever they have a question, whenever they have, if you can see what's going on, so I can coach them effectively. Okay, so it's efficient and effective. Second point, motivation and confidence. You heard Cody talk about it, right? Like it builds momentum. You know, it builds momentum. You start seeing everyone else picking up the phone and calling, and you get motivated. You know, I'll tell you, like if I ever do like a group fitness class, like if I'm in like cycling and stuff, you know, it's one thing if I'm cycling just on my own, but if I go into a class, you know, and I see the lady right next to me like kicking my ass, I'm like, I better go. You know, I better go. I see the coach or the trainer up front. You know, if he or she's coming at me and saying, "All right, let's go. We're getting up to our reps. We're doing this. We're doing that." You know, like you start picking it up. You get confidence. There's motivation. You start getting confidence, right? Motivation and confidence. This is why you have a group setting. The same thing happens when you have group lead generation calls. And the last piece is feedback and accountability. Right? You know, Shana loved what you were saying, right? You know, it is an accountability piece. And so when you have that, right? So I can now see every single one of you. We have a rule, camera on. Okay. So I can see every single one of you. And are you picking up the phone or are you not? I can ask, right? There's sometimes what we'll do is we'll actually have a person on the phone unmuted and we're able to hear their calls. Right? We're actually able to hear them actually speak and talk and and have the dialogue in front of everyone and others can listen in on how that conversation is being done. Okay. Now we can give that person real-time feedback as to how good they did, or they're giving feedback, or they're teaching others on how good they are. Right. The feedback it's real time, and then there's an accountability piece. So I wasn't going to say this, but I want to. I'll preface this with I am a weird guy. I was studying the word accountability. Okay, I would just go on these tangents and I'll study like words. Like, okay, what's the meaning of words? And why I do that is because if you really understand a word, right, you'll start to do it. You'll start to live what it is that you say you're going to do. And so I'll just like, what does this word accountability mean? I was studying the word accountability, and and I was trying to find a good definition for it. And essentially, what it means, it's the person who is accountable is the person who is answerable for the result. That's simple. The person who is accountable is the person who answers, right? It's the person who is answerable for the result. So if I ask you, so Rami, if I ask you, okay, are you, what is the result that you were trying to get? Okay, rhetorical question. What's the result that you were trying to get? Okay, you're the one who answers for that result. Therefore, you are accountable. Okay, so there's an accountability piece. Now I can go to so me as a team lead, I can go to every single team member then. Okay, what is it that you were trying to do? What is it that you said you were going to do? Hey, you wanted to sign up for this challenge that we just set, and you wanted to do all of these things. What result did you get? You are to answer for that result. Okay, and all I'm doing as a team leader is I'm just asking. That's simple. And I put all the pressure down on the person who is supposed to perform. And pressure is good. Pressure is a gift. Okay? So I want to put that pressure down on that person, and they either say, no, I didn't, or yes, I did. And then me as a team lead, I get to ask, why? And now I can coach. Because the best team leaders out there are the best coaches. And so if you want to improve your team lead skills, you improve your coaching skills. That simple.